World leaders are continuing to call for an end to the violence in Egypt. On Monday, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon made his first public comments on the situation. As CCTV's Stephen Fee reports, he condemned the use of force and said he's dispatched a special envoy to Cairo.
As Egypt's streets stand eerily quiet, the calls from global leaders are becoming louder. At the United Nations headquarters in New York, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon reaffirmed so far what he'd only said in press statements.
I'm alarmed by ongoing developments and the widespread outbreak of violent protest and the excessive use of force. I strongly condemn attacks on churches, hospitals, and other public facilities.
While on foreign travel, Secretary Ban said he'd been in close touch with stakeholders on the ground and was prepared to send an envoy to Cairo Tuesday.
I have asked Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs, Mr. Jeff Feltman, to hold wide-ranging discussions in Cairo, starting from tomorrow, with a focus on how the United Nations can best support initiatives to restore peace and forge reconciliation in Egypt.
Last week, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session, and global leaders have been calling on the international body to do more to stem the violence. Taking questions on the matter for the first time, Secretary Ban called on Egypt's interim leadership to engage in dialogue with the Muslim Brotherhood.
I have been urging that the political space for Muslim Brotherhood should be expanded because their political space has been very much limited, and by allowing Mr. Morsi to be freed, released, and if not, the transparent legal process should be taken.
Later in the afternoon, Egypt's representative at the Security Council lashed out at fellow member states who had criticized his country during a discussion on the protection of civilians in armed conflict. He said the crisis did not constitute an armed conflict and that the ongoing turmoil was an internal matter. Stephen Fee, CCTV, at the United Nations in New York.